How much would you pay for a piece of Apple history? We're talking about a fully functioning Apple I computer from the year 1976. It's up for auction tomorrow at Sothebys here in New York City. Richard Austin is head of the books department at Sothebys and joins us this morning. Richard, good to talk to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Fascinating piece of history. First, walk me through exactly what it is and the backstory about how it came into Sotheby's hands.
Well, this is really the beginning of personal computing as we know it. This was the first Apple computer that Apple produced in 1976, and it was quite expensive at the time. It was $666, and you didn't actually get what we think of as a computer today. What you got was this board. You had to supply your own keyboard, your own monitor, and in fact your own cassette machine, which is what actually runs the programs.
And the owner of the store that ordered these, he insisted that the boards come fully assembled. So we're actually talking about boards that Steve Jobs and Wozniak actually built together, right?
Yes, early on, it was very unusual. You had computer kits before that you had to assemble at home, but this is the first time you could go to a shop and actually buy a fully assembled board.
How many of these are known to be in working condition?
Well, they only produced about 200, and only 50 or so survived. But because they sold them to hobbyists, people who are interested in customizing them themselves, very few survive in original condition. And in fact, this one works, as you can see, which is highly unusual. Only 5 are known to actually be in working condition.
And now, how much is that expected to fetch, the unit that you're looking at right there?
Well, this is the estimate's 120 to 180,000, but there's been a tremendous amount of interest, as there always is in Apple products, whether old or new. So we expect a fairly strong price on the unit.
Then that's not all that's up for auction. The sale's also going to include a report written by Jobs from earlier, 1974, when he was still working at Atari. What's that?
That's really interesting, in fact. When Jobs was Atari employee number 40, he wrote a report that was to improve a video arcade game, the World Cup actually arcade game. And one of the things that Jobs took from his experience at Atari was wanting to make the computer as easy to use as a video game. So that's one of the reasons that you have the great ability of Apple's to be intuitively used by the user very quickly.
And that, I think, is going to fetch somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000?
That's the expected estimate, but again, because it's Jobs, it's early Jobs, a lot of the report is in his handwriting, we expect that to do very well as well.
Interesting. Finally, I think overall, I'm just curious. I mean, we keep hearing about investors who are nervous around the world, really, about keeping their money in paper currencies. So they're looking at hard assets, real estate, art, and collectibles. I wonder, I mean, has Sotheby's gotten a taste of that trend? I assume so.
That's very true. There's a lot of people who are wanting hard assets and items of cultural importance, and this certainly fulfills that as being, one of the most significant offerings for computing history to come up in many years.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Richard Austin, head of books over at Sotheby's. Best of luck on the auction. Thanks for your time.